Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm today's host, Brenda Hammond, and if you don't know by now, I am the ministry assistant here at Harmony. Since it's February, the theme of love is everywhere. You can't go in any store or look anywhere without seeing love and blah and all of it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm really excited about today's conversation because I am joined by two people who are just so in love. We have Pastor Aaron and his wife, Julie. So thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, no, this is your first time on the podcast.
This is my first time on any podcast.
Okay, well, you're going to be famous. It's. I mean, I'm telling you.
As long as it's not infamous.
Yeah, well, it could go either way, honestly. Yeah. There's some things that we have to cut out, so, you know.
Oh, good.
that doesn't make us infamous. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So just for those that don't know, tell us just a little bitty bit about yourself, what you do, what you have done.
Oh, wow. Okay. How long do we have? So currently, I work at Divine Veterinary Clinic in Ozark 3 days a week. And before that, I certified school teacher in Tennessee. That has lapsed since I went to college a good long time ago. I've taught in public school, private school, and I've homeschooled even. And, you know, besides everything I do with the church, that's, you know, kind of.
So what, if I may, made your decision to kind of get out of education and into animals?
We might not have enough time for that.
Well, okay, that's a whole
Maybe
God
in a couple
story right
sentences.
there. Okay, I'll try.
Right.
I'll try my best.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
So I was teaching at Christian school in Memphis, right outside Memphis, Tennessee, and in Fayette County. And our oldest son was going into high school, and he, at that time, was not diagnosed, but we knew we had some type of sensory issue or classification going on, and I was worried about him going to high school, even at a Christian school.
Yeah.
And so, you know, God just told me I needed to come home. I didn't know at the time. There were multiple reasons for that, and that's probably going to have to be a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But I came home, and that's when we started homeschooling until we moved to Alabama. And then during that whole transition of schooling my oldest through his high school years, my Tennessee licensure expired. And in order for me to go back to teaching, I would have had to go take courses at 40 plus years old, pay for those courses, take the praxis test again, and even then it would not be insured that I would get a job, because as anybody knows, getting a job in a school system is who you know.
Yeah.
So there's just no telling what would have happened. My second love besides kids, teaching, I've always loved animals my entire life, and I'm pretty well organized. So that kind of led me to be receptionist at a veterinary clinic, which I started that in Alabama, and I've been doing that for about 8 years now, I think.
Oh, yeah, okay.
8 to 9, I think.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. So today we are going to talk about love. We're going to talk about marriage, faith, friendship. And I want to go back to the beginning.
Oh, the beginning.
Yeah, you know, the good old days, as they say.
Yes.
Back when I had hair.
I wish we could, like, flash a picture.
That would be great.
Yeah.
He had the
we
hair,
could do that.
man.
Yeah,
he
we could
had
do
the
that.
hair.
Well, I imagine it's just, like, picture Nathan, right?
No.
My hair
Nathan
was
has
straight.
curly hair.
No, straight.
He had wavy hair. He Dean Kane.
Oh.
He was my Dean Kane. Sorry.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Here we go.
Sorry.
I love it. Superman.
Yes.
I love it. That's
It's going to
awesome.
be a great day.
We may have to
Find a picture.
cut him down a little bit to get him to fit out of the store when we're done.
No, it's fine.
Don't worry, I can do that. I'm good at, you know, humbling him. Yes. That's funny. So no, I want to start with, do you remember your first encounter, Julie? I'll have you go first. Like, tell me about your first encounter, your first glimpse of Aaron, or where you met, and how did that come about?
We love telling this story. So the college we went to was Union University. Was 1 year ahead of him.
Oh.
It had what we
cougar.
call J term and 2 summer terms.
Okay.
So they didn't start regular classes until February each year. So we were both at J term. Mm-hmm. Hadn't known each other. Actually, I think you had been on campus a whole half a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
fall semester.
we had never run across or never noticed.
Never knew
Let's
each
just
other.
say
Yeah,
we
yeah.
probably passed each other. Didn't
Yeah.
know. So I didn't have a car.
Okay.
And my roommate was going to Walmart to get groceries. So I rode with her, and we were standing in the frozen food aisle at Walmart. And a girl that I went to Union University Singers, it was a chorus group. I went to that class with her, and I knew her. She walked past at the end of the aisle, and I said, "Hi, Emily." And she turns around, and this guy is with her.
Oh.
Yes. And so
We went to high school together. See, I don't tell this part of the story. Julie tells this part of the
that's how it
story. But anyway,
happened. So
Emily and I went to high school together, so
they did,
we knew
they
each
did.
other from
and they also
from
went to
growing up.
Walmart together.
I'm sure you did.
So anyway, so they're walking down
There
the
you go.
aisle, and my roommate Belinda and I are standing there, and Emily and I are talking, and we're talking about Dean's List, and Belinda goes, "Oh, Julie made Dean's List," and then Emily goes, "Oh, Aaron made Dean's List," and "Oh, this is Aaron Armstrong," and so we meet. We basically say maybe one or two words to each other, and they go their merry way. I looked at my roommate, and she looked at me. She said, "Girl, he was looking at you up one side and down the other." And
I knew it.
I said, "Well, I don't know about all that, but I would like to get to know him better."
Yeah.
So that's kind of what started the whole thing.
I love that. Now, Aaron, is that accurate, or how would you describe it? Let's get it from a male perspective, because here's how I feel it's going to be like. I saw this girl in Walmart and she was cute, and that's it. But there's got to be more, right?
Do you want me to add a bruh on the end of that? Yeah,
Well, back in the 90s, I
I
don't
would-
think
Yeah,
we
with
said bro.
Yeah.
bro, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude. I think the thing, I would say that's accurate in every way, because I'm not going to disagree with Julie, especially on a podcast. But yeah, I think that. I saw her. I thought this is a person I'd like to get to know. I don't know. I think we probably had a similar thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I did start trying to find myself in the music hall where I knew she would be on a periodic, in the education hall.
Yeah.
I did.
And the
Which
pool
it was,
hall.
which the School of Christian Studies that I was in was on the other side of campus. So there was some intentionality.
So you had to make some-
Yeah.
And I guess it would be called stalking now. I think that would be
a little
inappropriate.
creepy, yeah.
But
Yep.
I just want to put myself in a position where I might find somebody that actually liked me.
Yeah,
So,
gotcha. So did you notice that at all? Like, did you
Yes.
realize he was like, okay, he's
Well, I
coming
didn't-
around. He has no business around
I
here.
didn't know it was
but
me, but I did notice.
started seeing him.
like I would turn around and he would be right there in the education building.
Like, oh, wait.
And he would talk with more people than just me. He knew
Yeah.
more people that were in the education.
But
building
also,
and
the
music
thing
building.
is
Yeah.
that I hung out in the music hall because they had told us pastors be friends with the music minister because we're going to be working together real close. So I was trying to get to know music folks a lot
That's
in that
smart.
area
Yeah,
as
that's what
well.
he said.
That's smart. It was
yes,
like
yes. I did start noticing.
Two birds, yeah.
And then there was one day I was shooting pool with a friend of mine. And this was, I thought one of my friends liked him when we first met.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to reveal her name. And so I didn't even think about liking him.
because she
What liked
a good
him.
friend you are.
And then I'm shooting pool, and I look up, and he walks in the door. And I got this stupid grin from ear to
yeah.
ear. And I turned around, and I was like, you just smiled way too big for not liking him.
Yes.
So from that point on, then it was, yeah.
Okay, well, so then how did things kind of move from there after you guys? So you've met at college, and
Yep.
like, did it take a little bit? Like,
So we talked for a while.
Yeah,
So
on the phone, a
probably
lot on the phone.
okay,
Through January, February.
And then came March.
Then March.
Oh.
Now we're going to have a disagreement about when
Ooh, I
we
can't
started
wait.
dating.
I love it. Let's go.
On March 3rd, we were talking, and
Yes.
and I'm trying to because I had like no confidence, and I was trying to feel things out, and I was like, so I said, "There's this girl I really like," and I'm kind of in third person, kind of
Hypothetically.
rolling this out for her a little bit. And,
oh, you're saying this to her?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
on the
said, this is
phone.
really a girl that I really
He
like, and I'm
called
thinking
me.
about asking
What
her
a
out.
nerd!
I
Oh my
know.
gosh.
I-
Okay, no, it's okay. It's good. It's
look,
good.
I'm
It's
telling
good.
you,
It's
I'm
good.
not. We talk about my family past. You'll understand why I probably had issues with moving
No,
into this.
no.
So she goes, you should call. You should call.
You should
Ask her out if
Ask
you
And
her
so,
like
out, yeah.
and so I hung up the phone.
He goes, okay, thank you.
And she'll tell the rest of
Bye."
the story.
And
Okay, stop.
and
Were you
and he hung up.
crushed?
Oh, no.
No, you knew
No,
the game.
I
You
was-
knew the game he was playing.
Well, So I hoped I knew the
Okay,
game
yeah.
he was playing. So
Yeah.
I hung up the phone. I took one step back because, the phones were actually attached to the wall.
the wall, yeah.
Okay. So we hung up the phone. I took one step back.
With a long
I
cord.
put my hand on my hip. I pointed literally at the phone. I went, Aaron Armstrong, if you don't call me back. And then the phone rang, and then I picked it up and I went, hello.
So
It's you, Aaron. Hi.
That was March
Third.
3rd
Okay.
of 1995.
Yes.
Okay.
And then on March 6th, we went out on our first date.
To see a
Now,
movie.
this is where our debate is.
Yes.
Okay.
I say we started dating on March 6th. She said we started dating on March 3rd when I asked her out.
The minute he asked me out, and I said yes, and we were dating.
Okay.
So there you go. I think we'll just.
I can't
we're
really
rolling.
settle. I can't settle
I
that
know.
debate because let me tell you now, if you have teenage kids or you're around teenage kids, like it's insane. Like you don't need. There's so many labels. Well, we're just talking. Oh no, now we're like. Listen, back then. If you went somewhere with somebody or you spent a lot of time with somebody, you're dating. Oh, not these days. It's like, oh no, we're just talking. Well, is he talking to other girls? Well, no. Okay, you're dating, So I can't settle that debate as to whether you were really dating or not because I don't know, like, do you have to go out a few times before you're dating?
Well,
do you
I
have
mean,
to draw that line in the
This is,
sand?
understand, this is back in the mid-'90s.
Yes,
I
it's
was
mid-'90s,
broke.
yes.
And so we went to Taco Bell
Yeah.
Yes.
to eat. And then after that, which probably cost us like $5 or $6
Yeah.
For both of us to eat together and at that point in the 90s. And then we went to a dollar movie that our university had. They went to like a midnight showing or late night show, or was it on campus? Which one was
No,
it?
that was actually in the theater.
In the theater, okay.
was in the theater.
And so it was in
we
the
held
theater,
hands for
and
the
then
first time.
I gave it $1. So I mean, I think I was out maybe $8 or $9 for the date. Pretty good.
Yeah, it was Man of the House with Chevy Chase.
Okay, the good old days. Listen, when Eric and I were first married, we lived over near the west side of Springfield near Republic. And on Tuesdays, you could get a large pizza from Casey's for like stupid expensive or stupid cheap, like $10 or less. And then you could rent a movie from like, I don't even remember the name of it, whatever, for 99 cents.
Yes.
So we could like have a date
Oh, I
night
remember
every
the-
Tuesday.
I remember the 50 cents and dollar movie
for like
rentals were awesome
12
days.
bucks, $10. It was awesome. It was
VHS.
yeah. Oh, for sure. VHS. Yeah. Oh, the good old days.
Yes.
For those
So-
listening that don't know what a VHS is,
Right.
just Google it.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
right.
VCR. Google that. Yeah. Okay. So then, so let's continue the timeline there. You guys kind of started dating and like you were exclusive with each other.
So
and
we,
then,
so
then
we
what happened?
dated through the spring semester. That summer, I went as a summer missionary to Detroit and served for 10 weeks there and helped a church plant there and was just an intern there.
Yeah.
Worked with mission teams, worked with the youth group, and did that for the summer. And so we were apart, and so we would write letters back and
Okay,
forth.
that was my
It was
question.
kind of, we'd
Yeah.
call once a week
once a week, yeah.
back in the day, that's when you had to pay for long distance.
Yeah.
And so the pastor would go through his phone bill and let me know the phone calls I made to that number, and I would pay him back because I stayed in the basement of the pastor's home. And then, and I don't know how Julie's parents did the long distance phone call on that side, but I paid him back for those phone calls and like that. So yeah, it was back the good old days. We wrote letters. I learned sign language, the alphabet and sign language.
Okay.
And then I'm somewhat of a frustrated artist, and so I would draw my picture of my hand signing things like at the bottom of the letter. Boy, I was smitten, wasn't I?
Very, very smooth.
I
very,
mean,
very,
smooth.
very smooth. Yes.
What a player.
Yes, and of course in college,
Unfortunately, a lot of
it
that's gone
was
away.
Such a treat to get any mail in college,
yeah.
and he would be writing me letters in college, and it was in my mailbox and little notes. It's very nice.
Love notes. Hey,
Yes.
do you still write love notes?
I don't really do that so much anymore. No.
You might want to bring that back.
Probably need to work on
You
that.
could bring that back. It doesn't have to be
I
so
wouldn't say
often,
no.
but yeah, just every once in a while. Okay, so you're dating through college. You finish college before you're engaged. Yes, no. What happens next?
So we got engaged.
It's in March too.
We got the end. When was it? May.
Was it?
The end
No,
of
it
your
was May.
junior,
It
end
was
of your
May.
junior year, end of my sophomore year.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we got married the middle of her senior year. She completed her student but right before she went student teaching, completed all of her
Yes.
coursework, and she was going to be student teaching, and so she student taught, and we were married and lived in married housing there. And so I
you
was
were still
And he
in
had
school.
one more year after that.
Third
Yeah,
year. And
he still had a year to
And
go.
so I got
Okay.
a full-time job as a youth minister at a church
Yeah.
after that at the end of my junior year, and so I just commuted back to campus. It was like a 70-mile trip.
Yeah, okay. So hey, tell me about the engagement. Had you guys talked about getting married? Like, was that your plan? How did you map that out?
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. we're unearthing most of our life ago.
Well, let me ask you this:
Yes.
Was it? Did you know? Like, how long was it before you knew? Like, I'm going to marry this person.
So the first summer, like
Yeah.
when he went away to Michigan,
yes,
my test to me
yes,
was after that long time of being apart.
yeah.
If I still get the same
The same butterflies.
butterflies
Yeah,
with him, then I know that this is completely different because
Yeah.
every one of my other so-called quote-unquote relationships,
yeah.
about a month
yeah.
in,
You were like,
we would look at each other and go, we're just friends. It's
Yeah.
great to know you.
I get it,
It's
yeah.
And
Yeah.
So we were several months in.
Yeah.
And when he came back and he picked me up and he drove me to Memphis and we were in his grandfather's house. And so anyway, let's just say that the butterflies happened again. So I knew.
So you knew. Okay. And then
I knew.
Were you pretty certain, Aaron? Were you nervous to ask her to marry you? Like I said, had you had those kind of conversations?
Time I knew.
It was,
and at that point, we were already starting to, the single guys were dropping like flies, the ones I started with at school. So junior, senior year, a lot of guys were getting engaged. And so it was not, and I knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. And I knew that's what God had in store. And that was what God wanted for me. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, did you have any idea back then what kind of journey God was going to take you on?
The journey? No, not the full extent of the journey.
No, that we
but
did.
I knew he was going to be a pastor.
Uh-huh.
Because he knew what I was studying. I knew it. He's that kind of thing. I stepped into
Yeah.
eyes wide open.
You
But,
knew, yeah.
yes.
Did you have any reservations about that?
No.
You just knew
I
that
just knew he was
going to be a pastor and I'm going to be along for the
everybody
ride.
she dated in college were going to be a youth pastor or pastor.
Okay,
So,
well,
Yes.
okay.
I have a type, I guess.
Yeah, you
Well,
must.
it's a school that was designed to train teachers and preachers, so a lot of it was hanging around campus.
You know what? That tracks. That's good.
It does.
That's
It
good.
does. It
No,
does.
that's good. Okay, so then you got married, and how long have you been married?
So this coming December will be 30 years.
30 years.
Yes.
Wow, you must have been like 15 when you got married.
Aren't
you guys
you
were so
sweet?
young.
I was 20.
Sweet.
You were 20. Oh,
He
so that
was-
means
I was 21.
Yeah, this August I turned 50.
you're going to be 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in a couple weeks. We'll
Yes,
be 51.
you're going to be 50. Okay.
I am 50, so I'll be 51.
Listen,
Yeah.
guys, get ready in August because we're going big. 50. He's going to be 50.
Yes, he is.
We're going
Exciting.
big. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Make a
Can't
note.
wait.
He so loves parties.
Yeah, right. Surprise parties at that.
parties.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love that. That's great.
Oh gosh. Okay, so all this time, okay, you're married. You've been married 30 years. So let's get into marriage and let's talk about expectation versus reality in marriage. And Aaron, I know that you grew up being raised by a single mother. You've told us that story. Your father wasn't quite in the picture. How did that experience define what you had in mind for marriage? Did that push you to vow to be a better husband and father for your future wife and your future family?
Yeah, that was a high level commitment for me that I would marry someone and stay married and faithful all the days of my life, and that I would be a present father, though I've certainly not been perfect and not been as present probably as I needed to be for my kids. But for me, that fueled a lot. But honestly, the problem is I had no frame of reference.
Yes.
I had my grandfather who was present, and so I knew what it's like to have a supportive male,
Yeah.
to have somebody that was there, had someone that would teach me stuff, and so I understood those things as far as a relationship to my boys, and so that was easier, and we'd been married for several years before we had kids, so being a father was not as hard for me, but being a husband and
Yeah.
learning how to treat Julie well and to respect her and to know what it's like to live and share space with someone and do it in a gospel-centered way, that's something I didn't know at all. And
Yeah.
I had lots of, learning mistakes. I had lots of, not learning to control my anger, learning to control my expectations of her and a lot of that stuff. And, if I could rewind the clock on any aspect of my life, that's an area probably I would have rewound the clock on.
Yeah.
And maybe gotten, wish I could rewind and say, could someone disciple me before
Yeah.
I go down this
Yeah.
road? We did marriage counseling and stuff,
Yeah.
and that was helpful, but it didn't adjust what was not right inside of me.
Right.
And so
Right. And when you grow up without that example, we all know that kids are, how you're raised and the example that you have in your home very much shapes who you are and who you turn out to be. Yes. So growing up without that is, I can't imagine how hard that would be.
And for me, I think, not to interrupt, but for me, I think the biggest challenge is Julie had to be more gracious with me early on, than I had to be with her.
Yes.
And so she had to be more gracious. And so she got the gospel, I think, more in our marriage than I did early on. But I'm grateful that God has been patient and long-suffering with us. And,
yes.
And let me learn some things.
So then how did you manage that? What did you do? If you had no example to look to, what were your ways of learning how to be an appropriate husband?
I pressed into, I was grateful that God put us in some good churches with some good men. And so I always had men that were a little bit older than me that would pour into me. And it just seems like God's always provided that in some form or fashion. And though it may not have been official discipleship, but it was that mentorship, that walking alongside. And that's the point of the church, is that we would journey through life together and walk that road of discipleship together. And so I had a lot of good men that just were there, that were patient with me, that were helpful, and that just seeing their example and doing life with them helped me a lot.
Yeah. So it sounds like you were pretty aware that, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I mean, as we all are, but for you, it's a little different.
Grateful that the gospel of Christ reminds me of my brokenness and reminds me of His goodness and grace. And so
correct.
That's kind of over and over. I know that's the theology piece coming out of the pastor.
No, I love it.
But that's what I had to practically learn. Like, what does that look practically in my marriage?
Yeah. And so, Julie, for you grew up quite the opposite. Like, you had an idyllic family setting. Your parents are even today still married. Tell me how that shaped your expectations for marriage. And going into marriage with Aaron, you knew his the way he was raised and not having a father there. So all of those things, how did that shape your expectations?
Well, I wouldn't say that our family was perfect.
Sure.
No family is.
No, yeah.
And my parents, who are over 80 years old, are still married. And so, yes, so they're together for each other. So yes, so I obviously have the picture of marriage as lifetime commitment, no option otherwise. You don't go into it, first of all, unless you're 100% sure.
Correct.
That this is who you want to be side by side with for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So that was, so my mom is actually not my dad's first wife.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So they did know each other in high school.
Okay.
But my dad married his high school sweetheart.
Okay.
And they were married maybe 2 years, had a young son. And her and his son died in a car wreck.
Oh, wow.
So a few years after that, my dad moved to Memphis. The town I grew up in is Bolivar, Tennessee. Okay. And he moved to Memphis for a few years, electric department. He comes back, and he says he was at a stoplight, and he saw Linda Hazelgrove walk across the road. And he said, I need to go ask her out.
Yeah.
So they've been married since their 20s.
Wow. But that was his second marriage. Do you know, have they ever talked about, obviously, now that you're an adult, how that might have been difficult in the beginning? Was there ever?
To be honest, no. I mean, that was not a topic
you just didn't talk about
that
it.
would come up. Yeah.
I mean, because that has to be hard for your dad being so young, first of all, being a first marriage, a child, and then, having to process that as a young person, but then stepping into marriage again and thinking, okay.
And I think he used that in the marriage with my mother. So I think it changed, how he approached things, or personal relationship kind of thing.
Yeah. So have there been times where you've had to remind yourself then, like we talked about early in the marriage, that, okay, like you might be frustrated or upset with Aaron for whatever reason, and you have to remind yourself, okay, maybe he doesn't really know, or maybe he doesn't catch the clues I'm putting down. I mean, he did say that you were the one that had to really give the grace.
So like early on in our marriage, I had, here I was finally a wife.
Yeah.
Okay. I had this home that I was responsible for in my mind. And I would do things, and he would come home, and I would get so frustrated that he wouldn't notice. that the dishes were washed or the clothes were put up or that I dusted or, because honestly, I was working part-time when we first got married, and he was full-time, and he was gone, and the only time that anybody could go visit at that time was after work. So he would be in the office all day, then he would be visiting with people, and so I'm at home doing this stuff. And I had to get to the point where God just kind of slapped me in the face, and he said, "Who are you doing this for?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." So God and I had another come to Jesus meeting with God in my early 20s, and I was like, "You're right. I'm doing this to glorify you, Lord.
Yes.
I am serving my husband in this way.
Yes.
I'm not perfect at it.
Yeah.
To glorify you, and I'm not carrying around my worth cup and asking Aaron to fill it up."
Yeah.
And that's something personally I had to learn, that if he didn't, it's not that he didn't notice because he didn't care.
Yeah.
It's just that was not on his mind to come home and take notice of everything that was done and give me my little gold star.
Right.
And that's not his job.
Right. Right. I think that's so awesome at such a young age. You realize that. I think that could be such a point of contention in so many marriages, even older people, but like just let alone to be so young and realize that revelation is, that's amazing, honestly. So talking about kind of, cooking, cleaning, staying at home, doing these things. So when the Bible talks about roles in marriage, it does frame them in terms of responsibility, sacrificial love. But traditional roles are also found in the Bible. They're best understood as complementary callings. God gave Eve to Adam as a helpmate. We are to be our husband's helpmate. It's not about rigid structure or control. But having said that, right now, what do the marriage roles right now look like in your house?
I'm going to start by saying we're not the typical American roles for our family, because I think we've learned to understand each other and our strengths.
Yes.
So I am a detail person.
Okay.
And Aaron is a big picture person.
Yes.
So I gravitate towards, I'm paying the bills, I'm filing all the papers, I know where to find all the stuff, titles and all this stuff. I can find it for you in 5 seconds.
Yes.
I make sure the clothes are done. I make sure the dishes are in the dishwasher.
Yes.
Those kind of things.
Okay.
I am not a cook.
Okay.
And I have never been. I get a panic attack if you put me in a kitchen and ask me to fix you something. And I think that honestly that stems from my childhood of not meeting people's expectations or not feeling like I am going to meet someone's expectations. So my idea, the way I do it is like, I don't want to make something and you not like it.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to waste that time. If you can do it, you do it.
Yeah. It's just too much pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is. And I put it on myself. I really do.
Sure.
And I can operate in the kitchen, but it's just I'm not comfortable there.
Yeah.
So, he actually does the cooking in the house, and he has done that. There was a time when I was at home, and I was at home more than him, and then I learned different dishes, and I cooked some as well. We've divvied it up.
We did eat a lot of spaghetti.
We did eat a lot of spaghetti.
We ate a lot of spaghetti. And it was good.
Wasn't it delicious?
Yes, it was delicious. We don't eat a lot of spaghetti now, though. We don't.
But, there's
That's so
times
funny.
that, we've divvied it up a little different, but as a whole, for the last 30 years, he's the one that brings the substance to the family.
Yeah.
And, when it comes to cleaning, we kind of divvy that up.
Yeah.
But he does like to clean as well. So
I do
That's
not
good.
like to wash and fold and put up clothes.
Ugh, no one
It's
does.
not my thing. And
It's
so
awful.
that's
I'm
kinda how
grateful
we,
that Julie sacrifices in that way for us
There
and
you
does
go.
that.
And he cooks, and you can. That's so good. You always hear that.
I mow the grass, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he takes care of all the house stuff, like the house maintenance, the car maintenance. That's totally typical male taking care of stuff. But
that's so funny because I always say, my husband and I also split things a lot. He will do a lot, and I do a lot. But like when it comes to the outside, I'm like, that is a man's job. That's your job, and that's could be controversial. I don't care. That's a man's job. You do that. That's funny. As a pastor, Aaron, and a couple, faith does play a huge role in your relationship. How has that shaped the way that how has your faith shaped the way that you love each other?
Well, I thought marriage was about the work you put into it, and it is. There is work needs to be put in, but the foundation is the gospel. Mm-hmm. And so for us and for me, I've had to learn to the gospel is not just something about, not just the good news that Jesus saved me, but that he's transformed me and he's called me to live that gospel out with another person. And so the greatest place where the gospel gets lived out is in our home with the people that we're closest to. And so be it if it's us and a child or us and a spouse, the gospel is lived out in a very clear the way there, because we're so close that we tend to probably get on each other's nerves more, or we are a little bit more unguarded with one another. And so the gospel has kind of been that fuel that I've seen God slowly transforming me as a husband, as a father.
What would you say to that, Julie?
Oh, wow. Yeah. So faith, it's obviously, like you said, a huge role in our relationship. I think our relationship with God has to be solid before we can have a healthy relationship with anybody else.
Yeah, that's so good.
So one of the things that we learned early on, the principle about don't let the sun go down on your anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we were young, I really thought that literally meant
you can't go to bed.
We're not supposed to sleep until we get this fixed.
Right.
That does
It
not
took
work.
me.
That's so
It
cute.
does not. It's
Yeah.
not.
No,
It's
it doesn't
not.
work. No,
that word does not mean what you think it means.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So it took me years.
Yeah.
I don't know about him, but it took me years to finally realize what it really means.
Yeah.
Is to let it go.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, it's not about deciding who's right and who's wrong in a situation. It's I love you.
Yeah.
And this is minor. And I don't really care that much about being right anymore.
Yeah.
I just want to go to bed.
Right.
And I'm going to love you in the morning.
Right.
The same way I love you this evening.
Right.
And tomorrow, if we still want to talk about it, we can. But it took me a long time to realize that what it really is meaning is just letting whatever it is that wall that got put up between you, just tearing it down and letting it go and just going to bed.
Yeah.
And dropping it.
Sanctification through Christ is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's a wonderful thing. What advice would you give to people when they are at odds in their marriage or in their relationships as Christians? We're speaking to Christians here. How should Christians handle that?
HALT. And Julie will tell you what HALT stands for.
Yeah.
Because most people know what HALT stands for.
Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired.
Okay.
Never have an argument or start a conversation, a serious conversation, if you're hungry, angry, feeling lonely, or tired.
Oh,
that's just a recipe for this is going to blow up in a few minutes.
Makes sense.
I, as a person, smush the first two together. I get hangry a lot. And so I can't tell you how many often we've been out somewhere and I'm like, we need to get something to eat because it's coming on me pretty quick.
I'm turning quick.
And we also had the rule we would not have a major life-changing discussion after 10 p.m.
Yeah, I like that.
Like now we don't have to worry about that rule because we're in bed by 9:30.
Yeah, exactly.
But used to when we would stay up, like I remember one time I started talking about something and then I looked at my watch and went, oh, never mind. Let's talk about this
We'll
later.
finish this
because
later, yeah.
normally you're going to have one of those, you're going to be tired, like, and you're not going to be thinking straight.
Yeah,
But
for sure. That's so
and
smart.
Grace to me, grace. You have to
Yes.
have grace in this, whatever situation it is. You have to remember that if you feel like your spouse is coming at you or the one you're dating is got, something tension going on, a lot of times it's not about you.
Correct.
And most of the time it's about what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
And-
we'll get into this in the sermon Sunday, but James talks about that it's our desires that wage within us is what causes conflict and strife and sin. And so, we're all wanting something. We all have some expectations of what we want out of the other person. And so but getting to a place where you can identify that and you can acknowledge that. Sometimes our emotions just kind of kick into overdrive and the desire runs the train a little bit. We've got to learn to kind of jump off that cycle and identify that what is it I'm wanting out of this? I want this person to do this, or I want this person to bring this result. I want this from the relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important part of how to handle conflict is we got to be aware
Yeah.
of what
Yeah.
we're expecting in it.
Yeah. Something that I always refer back to is, and I'm sure you've heard of this, The Power of a Praying Wife. You've heard the book.
I have, yeah.
So that book, the very first pages, she's talking about how her husband is this or her husband is that, and she just wants him to change, and she's begging to God, like, just change him. Like, why is he acting this way? And God says to her, together. No, we need to focus on you. You need to get your heart right. And I think that's so important in not just marriage relationships, but in all relationships, that it's not always about us.
Exactly.
We need to do what we need to do to be obedient and get our hearts right with God and act in a way that we should, and then allow God to work in the situation.
Yes.
So yeah, I love how you said, like, it's not about me. Just put that aside and go. So I know this isn't marriage counseling or whatever, but if there, Aaron, were just a couple things that you could tell Christians, this is what you should not do when you are at odds. Is there a couple things that you can think of off the top of your head?
Number one, don't bring up the past.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it any better.
You sound like you're speaking from experience.
It's like if you want to make things bad, go ahead and bring up the last 5 fights. That's going to really make things better. No, don't do that. But there's a gospel principle behind that.
Yes.
Because God doesn't, every time we sin, doesn't go,
the last time.
look at the 25 things you did before. Or the 25 million things you did before. I mean, God doesn't do so. That's a principle of Christ-likeness that we're supposed to model in a relationship. I think that not bringing up the past, and it's not that, like, we've not been great at that. At least I wasn't great. That's why I said she had to give grace.
Yeah.
But we've gotten better at that. 30 years, you either learn how to swim or not, and so
that's right.
Or you learn to get in this weird place of kind of emotional disconnection. And so by God's grace, we figured that part out.
Yep.
And I would encourage any couple to work on that. So that's probably the main thing for me.
Yeah, just not keep a record of wrongs, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
The First Corinthians says that, I think.
Right?
I think so, yes.
So going off that question then, when you guys have conflict, because even after 30 years of blissful marriage, you have conflict.
Oh, yes, we still have conflict.
You're human, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we all have conflict. So what is your style, and I'm going to start with you, Julie, of handling that? Are you the type that wants to talk it out? Do you need alone time to calm down? Then we'll talk about it. Like, how do you handle conflict?
Oh, wow. So over 30 years, this has changed, to be honest. And it goes back to understanding your spouse.
Yeah.
Because if I'm remembering correctly, and I like to forget some things, but when we were first married and we had conflict, I was wanting to get it resolved as quickly as possible. But everybody has their own personality.
Yeah.
And, you have the people that need to take a breath. They need to digest what was just said before they can fully come to a resolution about anything. And I had to learn that, I don't need to keep coming at him and bringing it up and throwing that in his face anymore. And so I've learned over the years just to take a breath, honestly. Just walk away, take a breath, and then wait till he comes back
to say, okay, we can
continue. Yeah,
we can discuss this.
Yes.
Aaron, would you agree with that?
I'm hard-headed. The Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit needs a little bit more pounding on me, and so I'll go away, and the Holy Spirit will pound on me, and I'll come back. I'm so sorry. I was wrong in X, Y, Z. All the letters of the alphabet.
Okay, fellas, did you hear that? What do you come back and say?
I'm sorry.
I was wrong.
I was wrong. Yeah.
It's okay to admit that, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me. I mean, those are usually somewhere in the mix. We
say that often to each other.
But for me, it can't be just the way I am wired. It can't be this. I'm just going to say the words. Like,
correct.
I need to have dealt with the conviction of I'm wrong. Like, I need to work through that.
Yeah.
Spiritually with the Lord, I got to do that. And so sometimes for me, it's like I got to get away.
Yeah.
And and that's there's a reason why people, smart people in marriage develop hobbies so they can have a space, an outlet, a walk, or something so to kind of think about it for a minute and come back. But also as you grow spiritually, you grow in grace with one another, and so you're able to understand like that person needs this time.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm nothing wrong with me. It's about them. They've got to work this out so that we can work on this together.
Yeah. And that's something I had to learn is like when he needed to get away, it's not because he was running away from me.
Right.
He was not abandoning me in the middle of this argument.
Yeah.
It was something I had to learn.
Yeah. I've had to learn that too. And I mean, my husband has literally told me before, it's best because I will say something I shouldn't if I don't. And so it's like, oh, okay. But I'm the type that's like, okay, we have a problem. Let's figure it out. We're done. Okay, I'm done. Like I don't need to think about it for an hour. I don't need to dwell on it. I'm fine. Like a week later, I have forgotten about it.
Totally.
Like, I'm over it. It doesn't matter to me. That's good. So that's where one of these places where faith meets real life. It's how it's how we respond to each other when things don't go smoothly. All right, let's move on to something a little more lighthearted and sweet. Julie, what is something small, just something small that Aaron does that makes you smile?
So this is going to be so corny.
I love it. The cornier, the better.
So my answer to that is he shows up.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that literally happened, like that story I told about being in the pool room.
Yes.
Okay. And
yes.
looking up, and there he was, and my smile was ridiculously huge. That still happens. We were at, a whole long day dealing with my eye, and I was sitting in the waiting room because our son was in urgent care at the same time. It's a long story. But anyway, I sent Aaron on to finish with Nathan.
Yeah.
And then I knew he was coming back.
Yeah.
But I'm just sitting there with my eyes dilated. I can't see anything. My glasses are off. And then I see this figure walking down the hall.
Yeah.
And I knew it was him.
Yeah.
And I just grinned.
Aww. Yeah, he just shows up.
Shows up, he's there.
That's so important. Yeah.
He's there.
Yeah. What about you, Aaron?
Julie, the way she loves people makes me smile.
Yeah.
Our kids, even as old as they are, and they're all in their 20s now, which is kind of a weird space to be at in life.
Yeah.
But the way she shows love to our kids and care and attention to them, and and that's the thing that's been good is that they've been able to see a mother and father work through things, not be perfect, be human. And they've been able to see that, and so to see the way she's loved them, that makes me smile.
Yeah, I love that. I think she's good at that. I'm gonna pour it on a little bit. No, I think Julie's really good at. She's so warm and she's so genuine and pure. I think you treat. I think you treat everyone like that. You're very genuine and.
How much money did Julie pay you before this podcast?
No, it's just what I've observed. I haven't known Julie a long time, almost 4 years now. Yeah. And I just think, I see you interacting with people, other church members, and you're just very pure and genuine and just a breath of fresh air. So I think people appreciate that. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yes, yes. Okay. So we did the good part.
Oh,
What's
boy.
the bad part? No, I'm just kidding. What's something that Aaron does that drives you crazy? On the contrary, it just aggravates you to death.
Okay, so early on, the answer is going to be different from the first 10 years to now the 30 years. Okay?
Yeah.
So first 10 years of marriage, he learned this very fast, actually, really fast. I always worked a job where I was away from the house from like 7 to 5, okay, something
all
like
day,
that.
yeah.
Okay. I would come home. If there was a dessert in the fridge, I had thought about it all day.
Oh,
I really had. He had no idea. I mean, he was innocent. He had no idea.
We know where this is
but
going.
It was several times I would come home and I would open up the fridge and I'd be like, where's the last piece of cheesecake? Oh. And he'd go, I had it at lunch. Oh. And I would just hang my head and I would shut the door. I wouldn't. I would just that disappointment killed him.
And I was going to say that was worse than anything.
He knows now. It is a written rule in my boys. He taught
We just
my
let it
boys
mold.
this
I'll
rule.
let it rot. I don't care. It's staying in there forever. We got stuff in the fridge now, man.
It is an unwritten
it's
rule.
staying.
If there
Not
is a
touching it.
dessert, I mean, even if he leaves me 1 inch slice, I don't care. He's left me. I have something.
Yeah.
And so yes, that is something that he learned very fast. That drives me crazy and disappoints my poor little heart.
Yes,
and so,
yes.
So he does that. Drives me crazy now. It would have to be just personality stuff.
Just
because
little
we're opposite
quirks,
on so many things.
Yeah.
We're together on all the major things,
Sure.
but then there's just ways he deals with something or says something that, those kind of things.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nothing like huge.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Aaron? There's got to be something. There's got to be something about
I look at
Julie
this
that
this
irritates
question,
you.
I'm like going, I guess probably.
Come on, does
there's-
she
if
leave the
there-
cap off the toothpaste?
So
like
if
what?
there's anything, it's what we talked about in the office earlier today, and Devin made this point, that there's two kinds of people,
Yes.
those that leave their shoes out and those that put them up, and those two people almost always marry each
Yes.
other. I think
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
probably the thing is
Yeah.
like, I do like things to be in their place.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And she is very organized in a lot of ways, but sometimes, a little on some of those things that doesn't have to necessarily be put up all the time.
Right. And how do you handle that? you just go with it, right?
Yeah.
You don't make a big deal
After
about
30
it.
years,
Yeah,
I'm
there's-
just, what do
You
you
know,
do?
I mean, because he does
She
the
didn't
same
make a big deal
things.
about my stuff,
Yeah.
so.
But, I
Yeah.
trip over his shoes,
Yeah.
I pick him up, I put him
You
up.
say- you know,
it's no need to bring
After
it up.
30 years, you know they're not changing, so
No,
you're like,
no,
well, can't
no.
beat them, join them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
Exactly.
All right. Now, before we wrap things up, I do want to switch gears for a minute and play a fun little game. This is going to be a quick game called Do You Know Your Spouse?
Now, before
Okay,
we
we have
start
to say
this, we got to
something.
tell you, so last year we went to a Valentine party, and they played a game called the Oldlywed game, and we won.
We won, yes.
Top place,
you
the best.
knew
Last year.
your
Last year.
spouse,
This year we
so-
went to the same party this past
last
weekend,
weekend.
and we came in last
Last.
place. We had the lowest score
Yes.
by far.
So this is going to be very interesting. We must have
Wow.
forgotten
We
everything.
just
So-
yeah, who knows?
how
You never
fast
know.
we
I mean,
fall
Never
in
know.
the year.
Well, and this could also be like a version of the old newlywed, whatever. How long? It's all the same game,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
So
yes.
maybe the questions
But
are
the theme of that
the
one
same,
was,
or
the
maybe
theme of
they're
the one
different.
we went to was like a safari theme and
Jungle,
welcome
yeah.
to the jungle. I think the jungle stuff threw us off. But,
Totally. Like,
if these are good, straightforward questions, I think we'll be
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
No,
like,
that's
you know.
funny. Okay, well, no pressure, but also a little pressure because, gosh, that's going to be so embarrassing
I
if you
know,
don't
like
know your
if we
spouse.
fail this, then
I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, and I want each of you to answer about your spouse, not yourself. And then the other
okay.
person gets to correct or confirm you, okay?
Okay.
So, Julie, you're going to go first. I'm going to
Hallelujah.
ask you these questions about Aaron. Okay.
All right.
So, the first question is his stress response. When Aaron has had a really long or stressful day, what's the one thing he needs most when he gets home?
Quiet.
Quiet. Aaron, is that accurate?
Correct.
Correct. Good. Ding, ding, ding. I need a little ding
Oh, that would be
bell
cute,
or
yeah.
something. Yeah, I know. Number two,
I will ride to work with music on, but after a long day, and especially if I've got a lot of things going on, I will ride home completely
silence.
silent.
Silence. So then, do you go like to your own
No.
quarters and just
No, we're
No, I can just sit in the
we're
chair
on the
and just-
couch
But you just
together.
don't talk.
Yeah, I can tell he's,
Don't talk.
just
be quiet.
don't ask him any questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
My husband's like that on a road trip. He's like, "Could you just take a nap?" Because I just talk and talk and talk. That might surprise you. Or not. Just kidding. Okay. Question 2, Julie. The conflict style. So this kind of ties to the earlier conversation that we have. So when Aaron is upset, does he need space or conversation first?
Space.
Aaron?
Correct.
Space. Good. All right. And the third question is, what is Aaron's primary love language?
Acts of service.
That's correct.
That's correct. So define, for those that don't know, what would that mean?
So, and I honestly, my love language had to change through this marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, because
What was your initial love language?
he'll tell you what he knows.
Okay,
What my initial
what was Julie's initial love language?
Physical touch.
Okay.
Yeah,
But now that you're over a certain age, you're like, you know what? Don't touch me.
no, it's
I'm
not
hot.
like that. So I had,
Well,
honestly.
mine is it's opposite of that. Like,
Yes, yes.
don't touch
So-
me.
so-
I don't like to be touched.
I don't like to be touched,
you actually will first respond and try to show your spouse love the way you receive it,
that,
because
sure.
that's what you think is great.
Yeah,
so
you love that. So
grabbing
they must
him
love that.
and hugging him when
Yeah.
we're walking down the aisle. Not the aisle, the hallway of
Yeah.
our little dormitory when we were in married housing. Those kind of things.
Yeah.
And then I quickly learned what his was, and what that means is the cooking. That's
Acts of
acts of service.
service.
That is how he takes care of me.
He shows you he loves you by
me
taking
that
care
he
of you and
loves
doing
me
things for
by
you.
taking care of
Yes.
me and doing those acts of service.
Yeah.
I
And
cleaned the garage today, babe. I love you.
yeah. So, but
Wait a minute.
exactly. So, I mean, I had to learn how to accept love that way and to understand that
Okay.
that's what he's showing me, even though he doesn't.
Right.
I don't know
But
what
I've
I
had
expected.
to learn
but, you know.
her
he
gifts
did,
as well.
yes.
So how
We've
has
come
her?
kinda in
Yeah.
the
So
middle.
you've compromised on that. How has her love language changed from physical touch? What would you say it is now? This wasn't a question for you, but I like this. What would you say it is
boy,
now?
I'm going to mess up the whole oddly wed or oddly wed game.
No. I mean, it's still to an extent.
She likes
I mean,
physical
that
touch.
doesn't go
Yeah,
away.
that doesn't go away.
But I,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
do think that probably.
It's okay to get it wrong.
She likes, I forget what it's called, where you you buy something for somebody, you give them gifts.
I like that.
Gifts,
No,
absolutely.
and that always sounds so bad. It's like, oh yeah, you like getting gifts, but it's not just gifts. It's
kind of melded together.
thoughtful
Yes.
gifts. Like you're out somewhere and you're like,
Yes.
maybe it's a bag of gummy bears, but you're like, oh,
Right.
Julie would really enjoy these.
Right.
She would love these, and so you get her a bag of gummy bears. It's not an extravagant gift, but it's the more thought behind it
Right.
that counts, right?
And that
Is
melds.
vacations a spiritual
Yes.
a
Yes.
love language?
That's
Yes, it
what
is.
you love.
Yes,
I know
it
that
is.
you love
Yes,
to
it is.
travel. So that is your
Yeah,
your
so his top two are acts of service and quality time.
Yeah, okay. I love that.
So we kind of melded together over the years. And so the whole acts of service kind of, to me, follows with the gifts, too, because you're thinking about them.
Yes.
You're doing something for them. So
Yeah.
that melded together, and then, like, the vacations quality. So
It's perfect.
Yeah.
That's so. It sounds like you guys have got it figured out. That's awesome. It only took you 30 years. That's fantastic.
Oh,
There's hope for anyone.
There is. No, which, by the way, I would recommend people to read the 5 love languages. I think that's so good
helpful.
because
It is.
It is so helpful. And honestly, like as humans, like I've learned that too. We give love in the way that we like to receive love.
do.
And so
And
the other
this-
person might not necessarily subscribe to that. And so we have to learn how to
Right.
mesh and mold and reshape our the ways that we receive love and love to give love. Okay, Aaron, this is for you. What is something small that always makes Julie laugh? Maybe it's something you do. Maybe it's a commercial. Maybe it's just, I don't know, pets and costumes. I don't know.
Is it a reel? Can reels count?
Yeah, that's great. Would you
Reels
agree?
always make her laugh.
Would you agree with that?
I-
Reels?
I can, yeah.
I think when I do something silly, I think that makes her
Yeah,
laugh.
that makes her laugh. She likes
Like,
that.
yeah,
She's
I-
smiling now. She likes
Yesterday,
that.
I was kind of in one of those silly moods. I had done a little bit of fast, and for some reason had an energy spike or something, and I was just kind of
Like just kind
being
of
goofy.
wired around. Yeah.
being goofy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We don't get to see that.
No, you don't.
Which is
That's why it's so special
That's
to me.
right, which is
when
great.
he-
We
yeah.
don't. He's very mostly very straight laced,
yes,
right?
yes.
Right. Okay. What is one strength that Julie has that other people might not see, but you see it every day? This might be my favorite question. I like
Strength that Julie has.
Yeah. that maybe other people don't get to fully see on display, but you get to see it.
Yeah, but people get to see it. That's the problem.
Okay, that's fine,
It's
too.
like it's what we talked about earlier. Is how she's just open and receives people well. Like, I mean, I think that receptionist spot has been a great because she's able to bring blessing. Well, I say this: that my wife's work is her mission field.
Yeah.
And she has a significant number of ladies there that she ministers to, prays to, encourages. Shares the hope of the gospel with, and so it's created an opportunity for us to love people well, and so
Yeah, I love that. All right, the last one for you, Aaron. What makes Julie feel most loved by you? What do you do that just makes her feel so loved?
I want to buy her gifts. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, it's kind of weird, probably, but I know I feel most loved, and it's part of my quality time there. But I think just us being together,
Yeah.
doing things together, and
Yeah.
especially just sometimes just at the end of the day, just sitting on the couch
Just
together.
hanging out.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything like in particular. It just being.
You don't even have to carry on a conversation.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Like sometimes when my husband goes out to the shop and I follow him, he's like, why'd you follow me? I'm like, I just wanted to be out here. Yeah, I get that. That's good. So I love this because it shows that to know someone so well, it takes time, it takes grace,
yes.
it takes love on both parts. As we wrap this up, I want to thank you guys for being such good sports, for letting us peek into your relationship a little bit. I think it's such a treat because, usually, as I mentioned, we get the straight-laced version. What people see in the pulpit on Sunday is, the pastor, he's up here, but, he's human too. And it's nice to see, how things go. But before we go, and either one of you can answer this or both of you, just a little short bit, would you give just a little piece of advice for someone that's listening right now, whether they're single, dating, newly married, decades in? What is a small piece of encouragement that you would like to give them about love and marriage, or just maybe not marriage, but just love in general?
I would say that love and marriage and relationship is not about what you get, but it's what you bring to that relationship. It's
Yeah.
what you offer and extend to that person. Our tendency in life is to think that everything is transactional and it's about what I get out of a relationship. But
Correct,
it's really about
yes.
what you bring into that relationship and how you offer care and compassion and concern for the other person.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably the key. has been for our marriage is learning that, and it's taken time.
Yeah,
and
it does.
And it's still not.
And I've learned too, again, in all relationships, not just marriage, but when you are just putting in and giving because you're giving, not expecting something different, there's much less disappointment. You know,
Yes.
if you're
Yes.
putting in expecting something, when you don't get it, that's such a letdown. So give without expectation. I like that. What about you, Julie? What would you say?
Well, I think for relationships across the board, I would say what I alluded to before about how you cannot have a healthy relationship when your relationship with God is not healthy.
Yeah.
Because another person is not going to fill all the holes that you have.
Correct.
And it's reasonable to have that expectation placed on someone else for them to fill your cup all the time. It's exhausting when you require that from somebody. And God is the only one
I love that.
who can fill that. And once you get that straight, then you're able to offer grace. You're able to see something from somebody else's perspective. You're able to approach the relationship without thinking about what am I going to get out of this.
Yeah. I love that. That's so good. All right. Like I said, thank you guys so much. Thank all of you guys for listening today. We hope this conversation has really encouraged you. We hope it's maybe you've learned something that you didn't know before. We hope you enjoyed it. And we hope it reminds you that love looks different and what it looks like when it's rooted in faith. We would love for you to share this podcast with someone who could use the encouragement or who you think would like to listen. Until next time.